Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please type in a 222. Please type in a 222, if you can hear me. All right, okay. It's good to be back on Super Wednesday. And together with me in the team is Pochu Alfred and Mr. Lingam. So I would like to just thank everyone for being here tonight, this evening. We have a great lineup of a very amazing, experienced speaker. All right. But before we get there, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Chin Hua, and I am a brand partner of LifeWave. And I have been with LifeWave for about a year now. Yeah, that is quick, right? So I've seen tremendous improvement, not just in myself, but people around me. It's actually quite amazing. And I started as a very skeptical person. My background, I was a pharmacist that has worked in the pharmaceutical industry for the past 10 years in retail, hospital, and corporate. So I know how medicine works. I know how drug works. So at a point of time when I was going to end my career, I was asking myself, was this a fulfilling journey for me in the pharmaceutical industry? Because I saw so many sick people gotten even more sick after taking long-term medication, right? So I decided that I needed to explore something else, and I went to wellness, right? And long story short, I found LifeWave, and I started on my parents, on the people around me that I love, and they found tremendous improvement right after patching. Okay, so that's how I got into the career as well and the business side of it. And at the same time, I got to know a lot of amazing leaders that helped me through. Yeah, they share their stories. And it is truly remarkable because listening to all the stories from the testimonial from people around the world, yeah, and Malaysia, in Asia as well, it is truly, truly inspiring. All right. So tonight, without further ado, okay, we have Mr. Jonas Ang. All right, a bit about him. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Hang on a minute. Right. So Mr. Jonas Ang is from Singapore, and he is kind enough to give us his time tonight to share about his amazing journey in LifeWave, right? So having 25 years in senior HR roles across 5 different industry, okay? Tech, F&B, search, pharma, right? And FI. So he has also been a trainer and coach for corporate transformation programs, okay? He's a certified NLP master practitioner, okay? NLP coach, right? ACTA certified, and in LifeWave since mid May 2022. Okay. So if you know there are different rankings in LifeWave, all right, that is how we climb our career. Just like any corporate industry, there are rankings. Okay. So being a manager is at as the first level. Okay. And then after that, the director, he went from manager May 2022 to director in July 2022. That's pretty fast, right? And senior director in December 2022, exec director in June 2023, and presidential director in March 2024. Okay, so in the span of about just slightly 22 months, right, he has reached the second level of the highest ranking in LifeWave. Okay, now so a bit of sneak peek. If you guys are new and you guys I'm not sure about the ranking, let me just share a bit about how it works. Okay, now this is a compensation plan on a computed plan by LifeWave, and this is just a brief introduction on how the income works. Okay, so to be a manager, the max income you can hit is 1,005 USD per week. That is 6,000 USD per month. Now, so Jonas is already at the presidential director. Yeah, one step just before the highest ranking, senior presidential director. And you can see from the screen itself, the income level is on average 12,500 per week. 4 weeks is I kind of lost count. Yeah, so I'll let Jonas do the rest of it. Yeah, his sharing of his career. All right. So Jonas, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, unmuted. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Anyone here from Singapore? Okay, there should be from Singapore, definitely from Malaysia. Anybody else here from other countries? Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to launch into this. And I would like to thank, Po Chu and Jin Hua for inviting me to this session. I thought there was going to be a BOP, but then there's no BOP. I didn't know that was going to be all my time. Okay, yeah. As I was telling Chinhua, okay, if you give me 2 hours, I'll talk for 2 hours. You give me five, I'll probably be able to do five as well. But okay, since I'm given about half an hour to 45 minutes, so I'm just going to take you through a very quick I say, it's a reflection, on my end, on my journey so far with LifeWave. And you can see here on my screen, right? Why LifeWave? I use this term something unique and different because that is exactly how I'm finding LifeWave, and it's really fantastic because LifeWave really grows on you, and it is so important. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it is so important when we are talking about a career that most of the time, we look at things that we don't want. Yeah, we always say, oh, this one no good for me, that one is no good for me. I don't want. But then, the more important question is, what do you want? Yeah. So I believe that LifeWave, when I continue to reflect on my journey, and I've just crossed 2 years, yeah, since that I joined in May 2022. That LifeWave actually contains a lot of stuff, that um, whether knowingly or unknowingly, I was actually looking for. It is in the I want list. Okay. Okay. So moving on. So as I was mentioning that, this is my journey and a little bit of a reflection. So the things that I'm going to share with you, I hope that you'll be able to use some aspect, but by all means, take the meat, leave the bone. Not everybody's journey and experience would be different. I hope that my learnings in my journey, you could resonate with this in one aspect or another. And yeah, you'll be able to learn something from this evening as well. Okay, now before I get on to the next slide, yeah, I was actually a reluctant person, to join LifeWave. And as Jinhua was saying, he was a skeptic. I was also very tired. I was with another company for about 5 years, and there were many things that I learned from the company. Not all good, but learning is learning. By the way, you learn more from failure than you do in success. While I was still a trainer, I was doing some coaching and consulting. But when I left the corporate world, I really decided, that I wanted to do something different outside the scope of my human resource. But having said that, I still love the training aspect of it. In some respects, I think I was born a trainer. So I love, to share what I know, share my thoughts, share some of my philosophy, and hopefully, that it will resonate with somebody and the person will be able to to apply and to benefit from it. So as I was saying that, actually, it was in April that this person I know for the last 14, 15 years, was trying to recommend LifeWave to me. But because I've known him for such a long time and he had recommended some things to me before, I turned him down. Yeah. So I turned him down once, I turned him down twice, and I just want to show you that. So this was on the 16th of April. You can see, right? This is my, this was a WhatsApp. So his name is Vincent, and I said, thanks for sharing. My frank opinion is I will likely not do the business. Actually, I was telling him off. I was trying to tell him to say, hey, get butt out. Don't disturb me anymore. And then you look at what I said there. If I had taken on the last product and business because he was trying to recommend something else to me, I'll be perceived as a rojak store seller. Because that is how my friends and I would perceive those individuals who sell just about anything that is shiny and new and have no commitment to what they're touted as a great product and business before that. So I think you can see from the tone of this WhatsApp that I sent to him that I was, yeah, actually, a little bit rude, I would say. I was trying, to tell him, to leave me alone. Yeah. Now, does that sound familiar or not? For those of you who have approached people and they may be tired, jaded because they've been with other companies before, and then, they respond in such a manner. So imagine this, where I tell them, oh, I only have my personal brand, I don't want to be viewed, as indecisive. But interestingly, his response to me was actually very even. He was saying, oh, okay, noted, understand. But guess what? Yeah, while he didn't immediately after that reconnect with me, but then maybe about 5 days later, he sent me, just one or two things, just updates and whatever. And then he called me again. Yeah. And this time it was closer to, I think it was in May that he called me, early May. So he said, hey, you really need to look at this LifeWave because it is such an interesting product. And by the way, Vincent, he is in the energy healing space. So he's one of the persons who knows what he's talking about. So that's why, there were one or two things that he recommended to me that I actually accepted. So in this case, while in my mind, and you could see from this WhatsApp that basically I was telling him off, to really buzz off. Coincidentally, around that time, and because I was doing some online teaching, one of my ex-students had fallen quite ill. So it happened to coincide. Oh, by the way, sometime in April, Jin Long was also in Singapore. And Vincent was trying to get me to meet him. And of course, I told him, I said, hey, don't have time. Don't think that I'm so free. So I rejected him outright. And he actually took it very well. He said, oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, there will be other opportunities, I'm sure. And then, so that was in April. And in May, for some of us who recall, X49 was launched in 2022. So Jin Long was in Singapore doing this official launch on the 8th of May. So like I said, it coincided with one of my ex-students who fell quite ill. And then she couldn't take medication. She couldn't take supplement. She had severe iron deficiency. So, okay. So I told myself, yeah, okay, why not? Yeah, since I've got a little bit of time on my hands. So I went for the launch. So I went for the launch. Was impressed by Jin Long, but was not convinced. And Jin Long at that point, had made a commitment to Singapore to actually be in Singapore to help Singapore grow. He said, I think, for about a month. So he had subsequent trainings and meetings, on the 9th or the 10th or the 11th or the 12th. You know what? I went for most of those meetings because, I was very curious. I wanted to see, the consistency. I want to see whether, what was the response and reaction of those other people who were attending. So on the 15th, what was that? Probably, mid-May, I said, okay, I might as well try. So the whole point here is this, that kudos to Vincent who followed up, okay? And then he was patient, but he was quite insistent or quite persistent, although in a nice way, because he knew that this product was very different. And this product was really unique and different. And, I just needed, to go listen to it, maybe try the product, and things could change. So interestingly, then I remember it was, I cannot remember the exact date, but either on the 13th or the 14th of May, Jin was finishing one of the evening trainings, and at the end of it, because I knew that my ex-student was pretty ill, and I got her partner, her life partner, to attend the last training with me. I actually borrowed some patches. So I can't remember whether I had bought any patches, but I didn't have any patches. I had not even started patching. So I borrowed patches, and I recall that I borrowed from James Lowe. Yeah. So I borrowed like Energy Enhancer X39 because I described to him what her symptoms were. So he kindly lent me, and then I just told Jackie. He said, "Hey, okay, you just use this one, you patch, yeah." And these are the two positions. So yeah, so it was on the 15th May. Then this is a WhatsApp, So I told Wendy, I said, "Hey, I given Jackie a few patches. So one is this Energy Enhancer, and one is an X39, and this is how they tell me, that you should be putting it." So interestingly, that was on the 15th. Then on the 16th, she called me up, and so we exchanged, some texts. Of course, I asked her how, but essentially, she called me, and later at about, I think it was about 10-ish or something, and said, "Hey, what do you pass to me?" So I was a bit worried because I had not even tried the product. So in other words, I use her as a guinea pig. Um, and she said, "Hey, I could get out of bed. I could do all these things." When she was bedridden for about 7-8 days, I mean, she was in such a bad shape that even her children had to help her to go to the toilet. But she started feeling better already early in the morning. Okay. And then after that, she shared with a friend to say, "Hey, guess what? Now this feeling that, she was really sick is almost gone." So I said, "Oh, okay, that's very interesting." Yeah. So this is where sometimes the universe seems to conspire, that what is it? When you are meant to hit in one particular direction, yeah, the universe sends people to you. Because I recall soon after that, when I got and I joined, with the gold package, because I said, okay, I need to try this product out to see how. But I kept encountering people who were ill. Yeah. So I started giving them so this person, had cough and cold. Okay, I give this person has a sore throat. I give this person who has some aches and pains. I just say, okay, you just try, you just try, you just try. So within a short 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all of a sudden, I had, was it 8 or 10 people coming back to me to say, "Hey, this is interesting. And, this product has helped me in this, that, or other." So that's how it all started. And with Wendy, and with so many cases, sometimes, and in fact, we shouldn't expect miracles, but miracles can still happen. So the fact that she was already bedridden for that 6-8 days, and all of a sudden, within less than 24 hours, in fact, it was about 12 hours. So within 12 hours of her patching, all of a sudden, things started to change. Yeah. So it's almost like a miracle that has happened. And then after that, it was followed up by so many other people who tried the patches, who then told me, say, "Hey, I was coughing, and all of a sudden I'm not coughing. Yeah, I had this sore throat, and all of a sudden I'm well." Yeah. So the key, the point I'm trying to make here is that, frankly speaking, this is, we only need, this business is so simple. Yeah. You only need to do, that one or two things. One is to share. The other one is patch. Yeah. So where we have an opportunity to patch, we patch. Where we have that opportunity to share, we just share. So by the way, talking about Jackie and Wendy, so these, my, how do you say, my partners in crime, actually, because soon after they joined me. So they joined me, I think about, late May. I was actually in Melbourne then. Yeah. On a family visit. And then, I started reading more and more about the patches, about the technology, and then started talking to them in Singapore, managed to get them to sign up. And Jackie and Wendy are both executive directors right now. Yeah, so we have journeyed together for this period of time, we've been working together now for more than 2 years already. And I must say, that it has been one hell of a ride. So anyway, I just wanted to show this to you. So that was in June. So after that, in February 2023, so that was our first Chinese New Year. And you look at it, not very big. You look at the low hay thing. We only had one low hay. So we 6 months, 7 months. You think that wow, it would have been a fantastic turnout and all this, but it didn't turn out that way. Yeah, so we could count, as you can see, the number of people who actually came for our low hay on the CNY or 2023. But this is where most people, they say that I need to see success. If I'm not successful, within 2 or 3 months or 4 months, that's it. This is not for me. Yeah, they would this or better say, they say this one cannot do one. Yeah, really cannot do. Yeah, if within 3 months I don't see $10,000 or whatever amount that they have in their mind. But if you look at it, let's say if you're looking at 5-figure and you're working in a job, how long does one actually need to take in a job for anyone to reach that 5-figure number? Yeah, it's going to be more than, I think, on average, probably about 10 years, right? But when it comes to network marketing, people seem to think that, hey, 3 months, I must be able to make it right. So they think it's a shortcut. Yeah. Now, if I had really taken on, and Jackie and Wendy had taken on that kind of mindset, then we would not have seen this. Because a year later, so I took a picture here that instead of one low hay tray, right now we have 4 low hay trays. Yeah, and all of a sudden, our team grew to, quite a size, so it's really, it's been a 1 year, from the last low hay 2023 to 2020, and yet the growth has not been linear. It has been exponential. Yeah. Okay, so just to give you an idea, end of 2022, there was probably only about 250 people in my team. Yeah. So you probably need about between the 200 to 250 people for you to get into a senior director category. But this is where if I thought to myself that, okay, it's taken me so much effort, I've already spent 5 months, 6 months trying to build this, and I'm still not earning decent money. Yeah, and it's only 250 people. There should be more than that. Then I would not have seen this. Yeah. So end of 2023, I was around, about 1,300 people. So if you look at it, it is not linear, right? This is an exponential growth. Okay. But it's only been 1 year. It's only been 12 months. So this is where the power of our business, and our business model comes in. Yeah. It is, you look at it, it seems, to be so slow, in picking up, it seems to be so much work involved. But the moment you stick to it, that you're consistent in your actions, and you are patient and you continue to do what you're supposed to do and just take the right course and right sets of actions, all of a sudden, it's like magic. Yeah. 1 leads to 2, 2 leads to 4, 4 leads to 8. Because why? We have a fantastic product, right? So, okay, so that's end 2023. So where are we right now? So I just looked at my, my dashboard. So right now we are at this number. Yeah. So within, you look at it, within 6 months, okay, we all of a sudden added another 750 people. Yeah. So you look at it again, it's like, oh my goodness, okay, it is really not linear. Yeah. So this is where it is exponential. This is where people will bring in people as long, as we know what we do. Yeah. Now, okay, so you look at this, you say, wow, all hunky-dory right now. But I can tell you, that the ride was not simple. Yeah. But before getting into that, I just wanted to, to just say that growing is a process. It's just like anything else. Yeah, it is not an event. Yeah, if we look at this business, if we look at our career here as okay, we need to make it, in the 3 months or the 6 months or the 1 year, and that's it. If we don't, I mean, we just going to turn away. Then we may be doing ourselves a disfavor. Okay, so it is a process and it's a function of consistent action and time. So what do I mean by consistent action? But just to show you. Now, we took a lot of action. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this very quickly. Yeah. So we had meetings, we had so many things. We even tried to jail people, to karaoke and talk to them there. That didn't work out. Yeah. We talked to so many people, went to the offices, had the meetings, in kopitiams, where they were more comfortable. That didn't work out. Okay. We met the people who said, oh, yeah, I can build teams for you. And then people say, yes, this product really works. It's fantastic and all this. And then after that, they just disappear. Yeah, this is our first gathering. Yeah, and out of the first gathering, you look at it, 60% of the people, actually left us. Oh, by the way, I want to mention this gentleman, if you can see on my left-hand side, he is my 001. I call him Uncle Ronald. Yeah, so you look at him, damn cute. But he's such a wonderful human being. It's amazing. By the way, he's still quite active. If there's time, I can tell you, his story. But he's a very remarkable person, human being. Number one husband, father. And still got time, to do charity, contribute to the church, and then he's still sharing LifeWave. In fact, he just signed a goal, and all he did was he was at a coffee shop. It was raining. His wife, who has a debilitating disease, he was with the wife there, helping the wife. And then somebody came, to him. Sat, next to them, who was in a cast, and he just asked the person, "Oh, are you in pain and all this? Oh, okay, I got something here. Let me help you." He was willing to share. So that person after that came to our event, and on the spot we patched him, and he signed up. So he signed a goal. So Uncle Ronald is willing to do that. And I think that a lot of our leaders, in fact, yesterday, was it yesterday? Sorry, no, 2 nights ago there was this Marvel Monday that our LifeWave Singapore does. So somebody else, actually joined our team, and this was Desmond and Stella, 2 of our new senior directors. They spoke to him on the MRT train. And they managed to get him to come for, our BOP, and he has been active ever since. This guy called Amir, so it's quite remarkable. Okay, so we tried so many things, presented in different associations. We helped. On the right, was one of the country clubs. So we had a booth there. Okay, that didn't work out. We had this opportunity, at some fair, at the expo. That didn't work out either. But you see, Jackie and Wendy have always been with me. Yeah. Okay, so the point here is this. With all the disappointments that we were turned down so many times, it didn't work out so many times. Yeah. This is what we learned, that we focus on what is in front of us, not what is behind us. Life and I think, success is almost like being in a car and you are being the driver, right? So if you are the driver, there is the windscreen in front of you, right? And the windscreen is a huge thing, right? Because it covers, you'll be able to see. And then you have a rear view mirror, which is actually very small. And that's a reason why the rear view mirror is small, because we need to look in front. Right? Occasionally, we need to look behind, but then most of the time, we need to look in front. We need to focus on what is in front of us and continue, to just move, and to create, whatever activities and whatever situations, that will help us along. So that's what we did. We created a lot of different occasions, and this is where in let's see now, so in 2023, February, where we had the low hay, we invited, a few people, and that's Yen and Cindy. In fact, I had the first meeting, I remember, with Cindy back in November, and telling her about this and trying, to get her to, to be keen, or at least, to show some interest. And that didn't happen until about February 2023. So all of a sudden, yeah, they brought their entire group over. Okay. Then we had this was the new office, and we're very thankful to Chin Long, for sponsoring, our office. Right? That we don't have an HQ here, but of course, by the end of this year, or by third quarter, things are going to change. So we had a lot of patching parties. We went to houses. We started patching them with Yen and Cindy and their connections. We made T-shirts after that. This is Yen actually doing the yeah, this is Yen doing her presentation. Yeah, first time, and it was because what's that? They were more comfortable in Chinese. So unfortunately, my Chinese, cannot make it one. So I said, okay, you have to present both in English and Chinese, and she was like, oh my God, seriously, and that was like probably in May or whatever, but they were game. Yeah. And then after that, she did a full presentation. We even had, I set up a booth, in Lucky Plaza to see, okay, let's see, who we can patch. So we did all these things, yeah, and you can see that we grew, yeah. So this was the Shine and Dream launch. So we really gained from strength to strength. We are so thankful. And I'm so thankful, to so many people. Of course, the earlier days would be Jackie, Wendy, and then, Yen and Cindy, who, when, they brought in the people, who later on became speakers, they became active in LifeWave Singapore as well. So you can see from here that, we did so many things. We created, our own posters, the patching parties, we call it, the Patch Care, Patch Works, Super Patch, or something like this, like whatever it is, that can attract attention. Yeah. So, like I said, Uncle Ronald, introduced, some really fantastic people as well, who continue to use LifeWave. They're firm believers. In fact, so this is Leonie and Linda, and I remember Leonie, on one of the, because we have quite a big chat group right now. Somebody was criticizing and about LifeWave, and straight away she jumped in, to defend and say, no, it works for me. Nope, this is really good stuff. You just don't know what you're talking about. So we have a lot of heroes, yeah. So this is the new office, and before we knew it, in some of the meetings, we were filling up the entire office, and we were just our own teams, yeah. Yeah. So by the way, so we also started a Malay BOP. So this is our Malay BOP speaker, Amir. So he really put his hand up, to say, okay, if you need help in that, let me do it for you. So I'm showing this because Amir was brought in by this guy called Peter Jalal. And essentially right now we have about I think it's more than 200 Grab drivers actually using our patches, and they're very happy with the patches. In fact, I think we have an opportunity, because we're helping so many of the drivers, that we could be meeting management, or at least, one part of management pretty soon. Yeah, management of Grab. Okay, so this continued for non-stop. Yeah. There's a lot of work, and frankly speaking, this is hard work. Yeah. But one has to decide, yeah. What everything is going to be hard or it's not hard. Yeah. In fact, somebody was telling me, yeah, that being rich is hard. Being poor also hard. Yeah. Being successful is hard. Being unsuccessful also hard. So we need to choose our hard. Okay. So we created a lot of value-adding activities in the last 2 years. We continue to do so. In fact, we have one major event coming up in 1.5 weeks' time. James is involved. Vincent is involved in that. And then some of you would have heard about Dr. Timothy as well. So when we create these opportunities, it is really to communicate, it is to connect, it is to build that relationship, and of course, it is to bring awareness to so many people that we know actually need LifeWave out there. Okay. Then in I think it was in September. So Pocho and I were just talking just now. This is where I think we met during. I can't remember who was it who says, "Hey Jonas, can you help us out in training?" So I said, "Okay lah, I try lah, yeah, maybe once a month." But I tell you, I was so nervous, man. Um, my first training, I probably I was supposed to do it for 1 hour. I had too many slides. I think I finished in 1 hour 45 minutes, which was far 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 too long. So it was a disaster lah. Yeah, in other words, there were times where I was supposed to conduct the BOP. I think there were one or two occasions, where there was absolutely no one. So this is what we were faced with previously. That we just don't know who's going to turn up, and it could be no person turning up. There was once I was just sitting across the chairs there playing with my phone, until I say, "Oh, okay lah, I was supposed to start at 2:30. It's 3:30 already. Time to go home." Yeah. But I encourage everyone if you have an opportunity to present, do it. Yeah. And this is where I decided to take up the challenge because I thought, okay, this is a fabulous way to learn. And it's very true. I mean, now that I've done BOP so many times, and people ask me to say, "Hey, you seem to be able to just rattle off without having to refer to anything." So of course I have to tell them and say, "You know what? I've been looking at the slides for so long; it's all inside here already. I can do it, from front to back to front, middle way, and then go stand or go ahead or whatever it is. It's okay, yeah, because it has been internalized. So this is where, if you have an opportunity to be able to present, do it, yeah, because it is such a fabulous training ground. That's where I mean, at the end of the day, when a person buys, they buys into you, they buys into whether you're confident enough or not. And then, because I have to be a speaker, I have to do a lot of research, right? So whatever questions that you throw at me, hey, guess what? There's at least, a 90% chance, that I'll be able to respond to it. Yeah. And not only that, because I was up there. So after that, we got Jackie. He started presenting, and his Mandarin is really power packed. We got Joanna, who started not too long ago, and started presenting for us and doing also the Zoom. We have Jessica also, who's a regular feature, doing once or twice a month, in both English and Mandarin. And we're going to have even more speakers. So the point here I want to make is, from a leadership perspective, there's no point for me to tell, hey, you do lah. It's for us, to just do it first. So we take the mantle, we step up to the platform, we back first. And then we show people that since it can be done, do it. Okay. And then the other thing is don't ask, give. Yeah. So when I'm up there, of course, it's my time, and to me, it's a contribution for LifeWave Singapore. It's, because if LifeWave Singapore grows, everyone benefits. Not only my team, but other teams. But that's what we also want. So it is about giving. Yeah, it is not about asking. So that we can, that I can just grow my team. That I want to just stay focused on growing my team. And guess what? I think everybody can see that that when you give, the spirit is all different. The culture becomes so different as well. So that is, something that I enjoy. Later on, I will come to that point about why LifeWave. Okay, so this is 2024. So in 2024, we had so we BOP is a mini, and then once or twice a year we have the mega. So then we have something in between that we created sometime last year. We call it the MIDI. Nice name, right? So it's the middle type, of volume or quantity. So usually it would be like 80 people, and it's been very, very successful. But we had an opportunity where you can see here, Dr. Timothy. So he's joined LifeWave and he's in my team. So he agreed to actually speak to us. So we said, hey, okay, so let's do a bigger scale, and that's what we did. So we did 2 sessions within the same day because um, uh, we couldn't find one venue that could accommodate the number that we were expecting. So oh, sorry, okay. So this is Dr. Timothy. This is Yen. This is her first time ever. So Yen, is a senior director in my team. She has a full-time job, and yet, I tell you, that's why I really take my hats off. She was nervous. She was probably shaking like a leaf, but she still did it. And she not only did it once, she was shaking like a leaf. She did it once, and then after that, she refined it, and in the afternoon, she delivered even better. So she overcame her fear. So this was the turnout so it's very recent. You can see here, 27 April 2024. Yeah, that we had full house for 2 sessions, and I think we crossed 350 packs altogether. And this was supposed to be the MIDI. So after that, I was joking to say, okay, we cannot call this MIDI anymore because this is bigger than our mega at the beginning of the year. Okay, and then so this is one of the trainings that recently I started doing where we call foundations to accelerated success, building blocks to fast track solution. And then just about 5-6 months ago, we had this gentleman called Desmond Pay who joined us. So he recently ranked up to senior director, and not only did he rank up to senior director, within I think that 1 month, he had within a month, within the 30 days, he had one more senior director who ranked up in his team. He had, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 directors and 8 to 10 managers. So, and he's really quite an amazing person who is also becoming, quite a role model for us. And things have also changed. So this is just from last week, and this is Jackie actually presenting. You can see here that right now we are filling the house. Yeah, in most of the BOPs and the trainings that we do, all of a sudden, it's like, oh my goodness, it's most of the time at least 75%. So in this case, I was jokingly telling Jackie to say, oh my God, your drawing power right now is like Jin yeah, standing room only. Every single seat was taken, and there were people, who were just appearing, from behind. Okay, so I just want to end off by sharing a few things here. So why LifeWave? There are 3 things, that really attracted me to LifeWave. One is what I call authenticity or purpose, product, and people. Now, I find, that LifeWave, and because of my HR background, because of the fact that I've always been a people person, somehow or rather, even though I said, that, okay, I don't want to do HR again, I gravitate towards areas that are, both, in that's people related and somehow also health and wellness related. So, okay, if that's going to be my fate and destiny, I might as well just make good use of it. So then, it is about finding the right company. So I sometimes joke to other people to say that, okay, this is recorded, but never mind, I'll take a risk. I say, hey, David Schmidt, sometimes, I think he's a very bad marketer. Yeah, because the company has been around for 20 years already. But then in Asia, he's only been here for about 5-6 years, So many people saw the opportunity in APAC, 15 years ago, but how come, that's a question that we often get. Hey, how come it's still so new here, so they don't realize that they're such a bad salesperson. They don't know that the APAC population and the wealth, it's surpasses, many parts of the world already. But it is in this simplicity, it is in this, that I found to be also authentic, because David Schmidt, he only wants to do one thing, which is, to create things, to invent things to benefit humanity. Yeah. So he was not really a marketing person. Yeah. Until, more professional people came on board, 5-6 years ago. And that's how, Malaysia came about, Singapore came about, and many parts of Asia. So, the purpose, it still remains the same. Okay, I'm not discounting the fact that money is important, but, this is, I've learned this, I think it was from Ronald who said this, that we all know that money is not everything, but everything that money is not everything and money is not all that important, but everything that is important needs money. Yeah. So from that perspective, I was always shying away from talking about money. Yeah. But then I realized to say, hey, there is nothing wrong talking about money. Yeah. But if the only motivation is money, then okay, that's where something I would say is probably quite wrong. Yeah. But in our case, the unity of purpose is there. It is about helping that person, and helping that person very, very effectively. Okay. And then also, the product is a very authentic, very natural product. Okay. We all know, right, that it's patented, as a non-transdermal product. And it even says, in the patent itself, that it activates stem cells. So wow, how many other products out there can have a patent stating, something that we are saying. In other words, it's already proven by the patent that it works. And lastly, but what is really most important is the people. Okay. um, LifeWave Singapore has been growing by leaps and bounds. We've won, the best growth country in the world, in 2023. Some people would say that, yeah, you got a small base, that's why you win. Okay, I can understand that, yeah. But don't know, man. I mean, for all we could repeat that feat one more time. Huh? But more importantly, is the people that we have, in Singapore who genuinely care. So they're authentic people, who don't like to play games, who just wants to get the job done, who really respect people, and they actually find a balance, between talking about business, but always, with the key purpose, that the product must be able to help the person. Okay. So the authenticity of purpose, product, and people to me is so important. And the LifeWave, um, uh, there's a big check in the box, when it comes to this area. So the other one is integrity of product and technology. Now, our technology is really amazing. It is futuristic. So many people say, that they criticize about everything and anything, including our research studies. But now that we have, and in fact, there are so many doctors already on board, right? From the US, in Europe. And now that we are having doctors also getting involved in this part of the world, and especially Singapore. So I reckon, that we probably have more than 10 doctors across, SG, LifeWave has Singapore, more than 10 doctors already. And we're talking about current medical practitioners who are also looking at the technology to say, hey, this is sound. And not only that, they have tried the product to say, hey, guess what, man? This is really helping people. Yeah. Now, somebody was saying, is your product better than other products, better than the supplements, the super supplements and all this? So usually I tell people, I say, no, we don't compare. And, every product, frankly, it has its merits. Every product, you could say, that, if they're in the network marketing, they are good, okay, to a certain extent. But I must say, that our product, our technology, how do you say? Oh, okay, when we talk about testimonials, I usually ask people to ask two questions, or I tell my team, I say, you have to ask two questions, okay? Not only does this product give you, or there are testimonials that come out from the product users, but the second question that is more important is this: out of the 10 users, how many testimonials are you talking about consistently? So this is where we beat the competition by, a long yardstick. Okay. And thirdly, okay, so we talk about the product, and this is my view, and this is something that, in fact, Joanna was doing, the Zoom on Monday. There was somebody who shared, and this person who was a skeptic as well, had aches and pains, especially in the C3, C4, C5, and other areas of the body that was consistently in pain. Patched, and then within like half an hour, all of a sudden, the pain disappeared by about 80%. And the person had been suffering from the pain for 20 years, and he was a skeptic. So he went into it thinking, that all this is baloney. Yeah, that he's just gonna just listen because his friend brought him along, and he's just being courteous to that friend. And all of a sudden, he was giving his testimony. Yeah. So our product is spectacular. That's what I look for in product technology. And I also look at this scalable. Yeah. So is our business scalable? Right now, we're less than $1 billion. I tell you, the opportunities are immense. Okay. And especially in this part of the world. Yeah. And in Singapore, my God, I tell you, every, I think, for every 10 people I speak to right now, 9 people still have not heard about LifeWave. So is it sustainable? Oh yeah, yeah. David Schmidt is still relatively young, and what is even more important is this, yeah, that we and David Schmidt, is coming out, with innovative inventions continuously. So the continuous basis in which our technologies or we are coming up, with products, with even stronger technologies, it's quite amazing. Hence, we deserve the term when we say that we are an advanced technology company. Yeah. So, so this was taken sometime last year. Jin Long came and said, okay, he wanted to train all of us. And we said, hey, Jin Long, can you help our team or not? So this was our team. So we filled an entire room. In fact, we would turn away a few people. We said, okay, we only have room for 40 people. That's it. Sorry, first come, first serve basis. So Jin Long helped us. He spent a bit of time with us. Everybody benefited from his training. So the key thing here is thankfulness. So we are thankful for so many people. We are really very grateful, for our leaders, for the James, for Lawrence, for Janet, and even the Alice, the Lily, the Nelsons, the Sharons, the Akikos, the Vincents. There are just so many leaders in Singapore itself. That we always continually, try to work well with each other, to communicate at all times. And James, has this once a month or once every 2 months gathering for senior directors and above, where he shares updates, and we get to socialize and mingle and get to know each other better. And this is so important because we are in the relationship business. We are in the people business. So I thank also, the teams, my team especially, and frankly speaking, me being a PD means actually nothing without the team. So it's a team, that actually put me here. Yeah. Without them, I won't be here. So I really, I'm very, very grateful for them. So we should be grateful, for everything that we have at LifeWave, even in Singapore, where we don't even have an office right now. But we are grateful, that we are still able to get to where we are right now, and we are going to be having an office in a few months' time. So gratitude is so important because really, I feel that without gratitude, eventually, it will come to nothing. So the gratitude is something that we have to embed into every one of our minds and our hearts, that whatever we face, and even the difficult times, because we don't learn from success, we actually learn from failures. So those failures that we encounter, these at the end of the day just become experiences, life experiences. Yeah. And when you talk about experience, if I put it in a very blunt way, to say that somebody has a lot of experience just means, that a person has just gone through a hell of a lot of shit and just survive. Yeah. And he has a story to tell after that. So the other thing which I just want to mention is this, like courage. Yeah. And courage is so important. And sometimes courage can take different forms. Whether it's speaking up, sometimes even keeping quiet is courage. Yeah. Sometimes Um, doing what you say you will do is courage. Sometimes,
I can see the charger. Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. And the best way I think to describe courage is this, like, is doing what you are afraid to do. So we have many people who have stepped up in my team and also in Singapore amongst the leaders to do what they are not comfortable to do, but they still do it. Yeah, whether it is Yen, who stepped up, to present for the first time, in front of that 300, was it 200 people, or no, 350 people, first time ever in her life, but she did that. Okay, whether it is Desmond, despite his situation, for him to be so focused, to be so committed to LifeWave, and yeah, he's going to be telling his story one day, so I'm not going to steal his thunder. And really, courage is not about the absence of fear. In fact, without fear, there cannot be courage. Okay. But the best thing is this, that when we start making courage a habit, courage is actually very contagious. Yeah. So when we, as leaders, start displaying that courage, guess what? It is going to be viral. Your people are going to feel it. They're going to catch it. And all of a sudden, you find more and more of your team members going out there, talking to people when they are fearful, talking to more people when they are fearful, giving presentations even when they are fearful. Yeah. So just to finish up, we just launched this, yeah, and this is right now our motto: changing lives one at a time. So we created this. I call this the VMO, the Vision, Mission, Objectives. James headed this together with Lawrence, Janet, Alice, Lily, myself. We are in that mini committee that crafted this out. We were very selective with each of the word here, that we want to be, as a vision, to be the choice team. Yeah, choice, not the best choice, because we want people to make that choice. So it's not us, it is them, who say, okay, I like what I see, I like what I hear. My God, you guys rock. I want to be part of you. So they are making that choice. And what we want to do is really, to focus on relationship, to build that community, and to always aim, for lifelong partnerships, rather than just transactional. Okay, you buy from me, you don't buy from me, that's it already. Yeah, bye bye. And to promote, these two things that are so important to everyone. Firstly, health, and then wealth. Okay, so you can, well, okay, we can share this later. I don't want to take up too much time, but just from the core values, you can see gratitude. I just mentioned it, the responsibility, that we want to take, the authenticity, the courage, the empathy. So, yeah, this is a time. I mean, I can come up with another presentation actually, just to talk about this. So, that's actually my sharing. Wow. Okay. I took 1 hour. My God. Okay. Sorry about that. I thought it was going to take half an hour. I guess we can open up to questions. I'm going to stop share.
Okay, Jonas, fantastic presentation. I think this is the first time that I hear you present.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not in this context. Sorry, not in the normal Marvel Monday, but this is something from your experience, right?
Yeah.
And wow, we saw that growth of yours, amazing. And I have one question, right, for you. Okay, I think this is something that a lot of people would actually want to know as well. Yeah. But
Right.
before that, if you all actually enjoy the presentation, can you give 555 in the chat box to support Jonas? Right? Just type in a 555. Okay. So Jonas, like you have 25 years of experience in the HR corporate world, right? And that 25 years of yours is actually you have gone through a lot of ups and downs, and there are a lot of good memories, there are a lot of bitter memories as well, right?
Right.
But when you transition to LifeWave, what was the one thing that you saw in yourself that really changed you? Yep, your self-development, that one thing.
Okay, that one thing. Okay, I think that one thing is really that sense of purpose, that meaning. Yeah. Okay, so I was in HR for many years because actually I stumbled into HR also. I seem to be stumbling into a lot of things. I don't know why. Yeah, I stumbled into HR. Then after that, I say, hey, I quite like it, because I get to help people. Yeah. But after a while, when you rise through the ranks, when you are all of a sudden at the top, it's no longer about helping people. It's only about helping the company. Yeah. So if you have to do things, they'll say, oh, okay, for the greater good and all this. So, okay, I understand, but, because it's my job. But after a while, I became very jaded. Just to share with you, I remember in one of my roles, I actually flew into Japan. Yeah, so this was an MNC, and unfortunately, the Japanese organization was not doing well. So I had to sit there for 1 month because I laid off the entire company, from country manager all the way to the club. Yeah, so that was like 150 people or something like this. Yeah. So while that's part and parcel of the job, but if you do too many of those things, I tell you, and you don't, and the thing is, if you feel numb to it, something is really wrong. Yeah. So I'm one person who, many people consider me to be quite a people-oriented person. I'm one of those, the conscience very loud one. I don't like, to pull wool over people's eyes, to mask things over too much, to have to lie, to just because, it is convenient or expedient. So I realized, that with LifeWave, I could be myself. Yeah, I could really focus on and do the things and conduct myself and share with them, my philosophy in such a way where, guess what, it actually is already in LifeWave because it is exemplified by David Schmidt. Yeah. So, and then that sense of purpose, that, yeah, like I said, okay, while money is important, yeah, but if money is the key driver, then we are missing out a lot in life. Yeah. To me, what is more important than that, that has to be balanced out is this, number one is relationships. Okay. So I said this to quite a few people, even in my team. I said, hey, we my rule is very simple. Money will never get in the way. Okay, so if money somehow gets in the way, I prefer then that we don't do business. That it's as simple to me as that, so that I can preserve the relationship. Yeah, because to me that is more important. So this LifeWave platform, seems to be able to give, and I'm able to find, my team with so many people whom I'm working with right now, that we share the same values. Yeah, we share the same purpose. We share the same that, yes, we understand that wealth and an indication of wealth creation, is part of success. But our first first primary job is go out there, help the person first. Yeah, and the rest should follow.
Right. That is amazing, right? What you just mentioned right there. And the other question that I have, okay, I'm gonna just take another 5 minutes at a time, Jonas. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the other question that I have, right? That kind of what is your sense of fulfillment now that you're with LifeWave? You're helping people, and on a daily basis, you will get mixed response, right? So some people will say that, hey, it doesn't work, and some will say, wow, fantastic. So what is your greatest sense of fulfillment
Okay.
that you felt
Right.
throughout this
Right.
journey of yours?
Okay. In my previous company, so how we overcome this objection, where people say, oh, it doesn't work for me and all that. So I would tell my team, hey, don't focus on that, 5 people, 6 people whom it's not working for. You focus, on the 6 people, 7 people whom you focus, whom is working. Yeah. But I was not convinced that was the case. Yeah. But in this case, in LifeWave, I can put hand on heart. Okay. That when I say, okay, if somehow or other that first, that 1 or 2 people are not benefiting from it, don't lose focus. don't forget, that out of the 10, there's still the 8 people who are benefiting from this. And guess what? It is true in LifeWave. Yeah, because we are in a what's that? In an enviable position. Okay, where almost every week we got testimonials. I mean, this is unheard of. I've never heard of any company. I've asked my friends from other MLM companies, whether it's in supplements or whatever it is, I say, hey, you got or not? Yeah, every week, got testimonial, got or not? Yeah. So whatever you want, I can show you a recent one. It's probably 1 or 2 weeks old. Yeah. So that brings me to that. Again, I know I can be myself. Whatever I say, it is not because it is a scripted response. Yeah, but this is a response that has a ring of truth to it.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah. So yeah, the many things that we have seen and heard. Yes, there's always gonna be the good side, the bad side, the ugly side, right? But focus on those that are actually seeing results and troubleshoot those that are not. Yeah, we still try to revisit them, help them, and let's see what we can do. Yeah, before really they really give up. Yeah, completely. So that is why we do what we do. Of course, ultimately we want to help people get well, and I guess all of us have the sense of fulfillment when you receive good morning messages now in a very different way.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I just want to add also
Yeah.
that maybe also because in our space, okay, it is not like like a normal supplement. Because when you talk about supplements, it's very easy, right? It's like, okay, you just take you take 2 a day or 4 a day or 6 a day or whatever it is, right? So that's it. But over here, we need to understand. Okay, there's a lot of there's a lot of education that we have to put ourselves through. Yeah, because it's about the human body. So if one can really appreciate and want to continue to learn, how the human body functions, these are the people whom we attract actually. Yeah, so those people who just say just either looking at the money or they are looking at something that's so simple to them. Wow, this is really too complex already. Then they say they don't bother about this because their focus is always just on commercials. Then. Thankfully, I think these people are not attracted to us, which I'm okay, by the way.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. So the thing is that it's amazing because we can get so many people that are smiling coming back to say thank you, and that would actually bring in more people. And the intention is always the same. It's a ripple effect where you're going to help someone, that somebody will go and help more and more people.
Yeah,
that's right. How network marketing business works, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
And I just want to also add, okay, some people will say, wow, you have so many people coming to your knowledge, burn out one. Right. Okay. So that's a very fair question. So this is where, and I'm still learning, but right now I am trying to shift the role that I'm playing. Yeah. So instead of being, the one, the chief honcho, to be able to answer all, the 100 or 200 or 300 questions, because, I have all the knowledge. Yeah. But that is not going to help a lot of people. Yeah. So my role with now an expanding organization has to change. Okay. So it has to, I have to probably, be the one to create, or at least to suggest or to look at things, how it's moving, whether it's moving in the right direction at the right speed or not. And then after that, knowing, how to intervene and continue to create that relationship, continue to find ways and means for each team to expand. And of course, work with them, work with the leaders. So I see that my role also will probably be changing quite a bit.
Yeah, that's good because this is what we call duplication. Yeah, if we
Yes.
are the master of just one thing, then we will be doing everything.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think the one thing that we can really do for ourselves, to the audience today, right, that we need to educate ourselves in terms of health. Yeah, because we take full responsibility for what happens in our body. yeah, before we actually go down the route of visiting the doctors and going for surgeries. At least give ourselves a chance to try something that is safe, non-toxic, non-transdermal.
That's right.
Yeah, I think this is the best thing that we can do for ourselves and for our family as well, those that we love. Yeah, so that is something that I truly agree. All right, Jonas, there's one last question here. From Gloria, do one need to use the patch to see result before one kick off as a business?
Okay, love that question. Thank you for that question, because I forgot to mention this. Yeah, actually, I didn't see any results, So I'm one of those, okay, because I don't have any major issues. Yeah. So when I started using it, it's like, okay, so my energy has always been like that, right? My sleep has always been very good. Nobody can wake me up, when the moment I put my head down on the pillow. Okay. My intake and all this also very good. Going to the toilet, no problem. So I belong to that category. Okay. Now, so it only about 2 months or 3 months into this, that somebody then people started saying like, oh, how come you look better? You look more radiant, you look like glowing, yeah. But what got me started to share was the fact that I educated myself, because I know with confidence that this is non-drug, it's non-transdermal. Nothing enters the body. What does it mean by nothing enters the body? That whatever happens in the body, this one will not be contraindicating, this one will not be disturbing, will not be hampering, hindering in any way. The worst thing that can happen is that nothing happens. That's it. There is no adverse reaction. Yeah. So with that as an assurance to myself, then that's why I said, okay, then I can share. And that's why when I attended, Chin Long's trainings, and I went for many days before I actually took the patches, it was with this understanding, that there shouldn't be any harm coming to Wendy. Yeah. So hopefully she'll improve. If it doesn't, it just means that she stays the same, in that situation that she was in. Okay. But only after I used it for, I think, about 6 or 7 months, then I actually injured myself quite severely, actually on the first day of Chinese New Year 2023. Without the patches, I would have ended up in a hospital. Yeah, so incredibly, and because I sustained these injuries before, so I know, that the moment my back goes, and it's very hard for me to breathe after that, I have to run to the clinic or to go to the hospital for them to inject directly into my muscles. And even after that, I would have to be bedridden for anywhere between 24 to 48 hours. Yeah. To cut a long story short, I patched, and within 45 minutes, I was out of the house, going to my mom's place, and I even cooked for her.
Wow.
So that was when I said, okay, now I understand why when we patch people, they have the lost look in their eyes, because they were saying, hey, where's my pain? Cannot be what? Right? So your mind is trying to register the absence of the pain, which, the mind is conditioned, right? That the pain must be there. And all of a sudden it's not there. You don't know how to respond to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So don't wait for something to be perfect before you start it, because there's no such thing as perfection, right?
That's
Make
right.
mistakes
That's right.
along the way, work on it, and perfect your skills. So this is something that I learned from Steve Jobs as well. He started the company with a lot of mistakes, right? Along the way, he improvised and he took action. Yeah. So a lot of people, when they see mistakes, they kind of stop there. They kind of stuck. They don't know what to do. But we can see from your presentation, Jonas, that you also had a lot of blocks, right? Yeah. Even moving forward, we will still have a lot of blocks. But one thing that keeps us going is the company. Yeah. That
That's
culture,
right.
the people that we have.
Yeah. In fact, on the blocks, on the obstacles, my advice to everyone is this, embrace those obstacles. Okay. Number one is embrace. Number two, prepare for those obstacles. Don't hope that it won't happen. You just prepare for it. Okay. Because that's life. Life is unpredictable. Right. So just be prepared. Yeah. Just go in to say, okay, things can happen. Yeah. If it doesn't happen, well and good, but if it happens, I am ready.
Amazing. I love that spirit. Okay. So there's one last question, Robert. We're going to take one last question. Which patch did you use?
Oh, for my back, huh?
Yeah, for your back.
Okay, so I used, because that was a very severe thing. So I patched Aeon, I patched IceWave. So I patched 2 sets of IceWave. Yeah, because it was both sides. In fact, the pain was like all over. I didn't even know, which side was injured. So okay, that's another part. So anyway, the pain had reduced by about 50-60%, and that's why I was able to go out of the house. I was able to cook my mom, but there was still about a 40% pain. So when I came back, I actually patched another one. I patched carnosine. Yeah, so I patched carnosine. I took out the old IceWave, patched new IceWave, and I slept. So the next day, I was actually expecting to get up, to wake up, to be really sore and whatever. But the next morning, I woke up, and the pain was gone 90%. Yeah, and the amazing thing was that after that, because usually when that happens, when the pain is gone, I still have to go to a chiropractor or to one of those, to fix, the muscle and the bone. But I didn't even go, incredibly.
Right. Amazing. All right. Okay. So, Jonas, we want to thank you for your time today. I think you have given us a lot of inspiration. I am filled with inspiration. Yeah. And I think we have to just put a stop here. If not, we'll go on for another 5 hours, as you said. Yeah, but I'll catch you. I'll catch you in July when you're down. Right. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's amazing. And we'll see you again next Wednesday. Okay. So thank you so much and good night, everybody.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Right.
Guys, see you in KL.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.